So with the 101 course, the Leaderships and Ethics, I think, especially for me, we think every day, but we don't think of thinking as a process. So in the 101 course, they introduce you to like moral deliberation and different concepts that I had never really heard of, and I thought that was definitely something to take with me from now until the end. Thinking as a process. Hey, I'm Corporal Pickle. I'm with 2nd LSB, and I just finished the Naval Studies Program certificate. So for me, I thought 2 of the classes were really interesting. I enjoyed all of the courses, but the 101 Naval Ethics and Leadership and the 105 Introduction to Geopolitics were both really interesting. So the 105, I think I was probably most excited for that course when I looked at the course program, just because it's geopolitics, it's the big buzzword, it's what we're here for, what we do. And then the course itself is really interesting. It's comparisons and contrasting, looking at different countries or looking at security issues from a different perspective, not necessarily as the American or as the Marine or as the Navy or aviation. It kind of takes you out of your specialty and forces you to look at it from a different perspective, which was super cool. When I came into the program, I wasn't really sure what to expect, which may have been a benefit for them. But having completed the program, I think it far exceeded anything I could have expected. It really starts from step 1. Like I said, the thinking process is opening your mind, your eyes to things you didn't necessarily consider. And it literally walks you through. It's like, hey, here's thinking as a process, and then here's history as an information to start processing, and then it brings you all the way into geopolitics, where you get to really apply those processes and critical thinking and get to try and test some of the things you picked up along the way. I thought it was really a really great curriculum. So I think the information is invaluable. I really do think that for enlisted service members, not just Marines, not just Navy, but just generally being reminded of what democracy is or what federalism or fascism, knowing these things, or how the Coast Guard interacts with the Navy, or how the Marine Corps interacts with the Coast Guard, or what the purposes for the services are, just the general concepts that we kind of brush past on our way up the ladder, is really something every service member should have access to or opportunity to, though some may not be interested. For service members, it's absolutely necessary. There's no way I could have attended classes or been able to participate in something like this if it weren't virtual, so I'll say that first. Outside of that, getting to know, first of all, that there is a Coast Guard, there is a Navy, and then getting to interact and then having common ground is really important for I guess, joint operations or military operations in general. Before the course, I never really thought much about the Coast Guard. I remember seeing a Coast Guard officer in the recruiting office, and that was my literal extent of knowledge of the Coast Guard. Now I have a much clearer understanding of the role and purpose they have and their effects on the entire operation. So it was great. So the certificate itself, as far as benefits go, I think that not only will my career benefit from it, but it will drive my career in a way. That information, that knowledge kind of opens new paths. So now I know there is a geopolitical area, or there are different ways to look at things. So I think it quite literally sets the foundation of a career. So I think that it's essentially it's creating my career for me as I go forward. So it's appreciated. So again, I think one of the most important things I learned in that first course, and that's literally that thinking is a process. It's a process and it's a skill. We can walk through every day and we can habitually and ritually go through the motions, the habits, because we're human. We auto-program, we do patterns, we get up, we have our breakfast, we have our lunch, dinner, go to bed. And the military reinforces that. It's a natural thing. But then you're reminded that all of these things are skills. So being shown like this is something you can improve, it's something you can consider adding to it. So the program was super easy to enroll in. I think that is by far one of the best features when you consider the many school options out there. Is the program's really straightforward. You don't do much outside of providing a student agreement and a release, and then contact information for your command so that they can approve. So they take all of the work out of the approval process so that you can focus on the education. So if you're asking me, I think everybody should sign up for the program. I genuinely think it's just good information to have. Like, there's no reason not to do it. You know, they cover the cost. There's no out-of-pocket expenses for books, no classes to get to. You don't have to chase down your command. It's super easy, and at minimum, the Naval Studies Certificate will prepare you to deal with the military for the rest of your contract. Yeah, so you just go to usncc.edu, and they have all the information there. The website's really straightforward. You click on programs or questions, and if you have questions, you can send a form to support, and they're really great about responding. Usually takes like 24 hours, and they get back to you with all the information you need or contact resources to help you figure it out. I am extremely happy with my USNCC Naval Studies Certificate.